Welcome to Beach Garage, where I work on boat projects all day long. Today I am in the Philippines and we are making a mooring, and I want this just to be a clean, more or less rough how to make your own mooring anywhere in the world. And let me explain how. So first you need to make the structure. Here we use just sheet metal and turn it into a perimeter to contain the concrete. Then we use reinforcement bar, as you can see, and did two lateral circle rings as structure, and then we did adjoining crossbars. And then the tire, of course, is going to be used to attach the mooring line to, and the tire also goes through the reinforcement bars, as you can see. And then the bamboo and the rope wrapped around the sheet metal outer is for reinforcement, so that the concrete doesn't get too heavy and burst it open. Also to mention, of course, you need to when you make a mooring, you need to work around the tides. So you want to find the lowest tide you can, so that you can bring it out, hopefully find a level area on the beach like this, close to the water. Right now we have half a meter of tide. That's like 3 feet of tide, and I expect the high tide to be about 1.7 meters, which is about 5 to 6 feet. And that, of course, is so that at high tide, when you do attach the float mechanism, that you can pull the mooring up and then motor it with your boat out to your destination. Also, in preparation, you need to get enough sand, gravel, rocks, and cement to fill the mooring, and to find a place to mix it, and to add water with a team of guys working hard. Of course, we're working against the clock right now because the tide will be coming up within hours, and we need to have this cement at least poured and cured just a bit enough so that it doesn't undo itself. Hard work, huh? You got hit. This is my beautiful Filipina dog, Paula. Okay, hard at work baling concrete over to the mooring to be poured and mixed in with the final mold. Good work, guys. This is Ronald.
Yeah.
And Ronald has helped me out. He has experience working here, and that is very valuable experience that he has been able to show us the step-by-step, and they say nothing's more important than experience. Thank you, Ronald.
Thank you. Welcome.
Let's talk a little bit about the tackle. So this is the first part of tackle, which is embedded into the cement, and it's two sidewall parts of a tire, a very large tire, and that is incredibly strong and durable. So that's your first attaching point. The next part we're going to use is a really thick chain, and then onto that chain will be a shackle and a swivel, and then on the shackle and swivel we're going to just use like a 36 millimeter, it's like 2.5 inches thick, 3-strand line, polyester, and then that'll be attached to some appropriate shackle at the top end. I can take you just a minute to explain to the viewers out there my story. I'm a California sailor who in 2019 sold everything and untied the lines to sail around the world. I went through Mexico, Panama, across the Pacific Ocean, French Polynesia, Solomon Islands, Papua New Guinea, and I was out there for 40 to 50 days at a time on some of those passages, and I was just eating it up, living life. It was my dream. Always wanted to just be out there, just alone. By the way, I did have a cute little fluffy dog, my dog Lucas, who's at the house right now. You know, that was just something something that I had to do in life. You know, I felt like I needed to have experience and to see the world. And I eventually made it here to the Philippines, which was not even on my route, but I was going, in fact, to China. But that was, you know, when you're out there that was a 32-day passage from Papua New Guinea, the last time I saw land. But by the time I got to the Philippines and I got here in this fun-loving, beautiful culture, and fell in love with a beautiful island girl, and I have a child now. So it looks like I'm going to be in the Philippines for at least the next, you know, 10 years or so. And I think it's a great excuse for me because it's all part of the adventure. I have a beautiful daughter now, half Filipina, and that brings such joy to my life. And but I just want to let the viewer know out there that I continue to do these boat videos, whether it's kind of a how-to making a mooring, and eventually I'm going to teach my daughter. I bought another boat here in the Philippines. It's from Sweden, and she's only 2 years old now, but I'm going to give that boat to her. It's a world voyaging sailboat. So now I got 2 world voyaging sailboats. The one I sailed here from California and the one I bought here. And that's going to be a load of videos too coming up next. You know, so this is a long-term video. If you do see this video, it's going to be something that you can depend on me for the next 10 to 20 years of just world traveling, life traveling, experiences, family, and etc. Also, I want to introduce Paula, a stray dog that I rescued here in the Philippines. And this is a beautiful dog. Pauline, I'm telling you, this is the most beautiful dog in the whole wide world. Look at this face. Paulina, good girl. Paula. Okay, so in the next video, I'll show more footage of making the float. So today we're pouring the concrete, and that needs to sit for about 2 weeks until it's cured fully. And in the meantime, we can just kind of rest, but also prepare. These are the floats. Okay, I have 4 barrels like that I'm gonna use as floats, and we're gonna use a 3-strand line and nylon line and bamboo to rig up a pretty good sized float that will attach the mooring to, and then wait for high tide to lift it up and then off to our destination. So please look for that in the next part of this how to make a mooring video series. Thank you guys. Also, let me take a moment just to express how important it is, the hard work of these men here. I have 4 guys helping me, and I need to stress the utmost importance of these hard working guys that are doing all of the work. This is real back-breaking stuff. This is cement, and they're shoveling it, they're mixing it, and they're working real fast against the clock. And you absolutely could not do this on your own. This is not a one-man band project at all. Okay, so we can see that the tide is rising, and it's just touching up against the bottom of the mooring now. And you just gotta hope that we got enough material, enough cement poured into the form so that it's congealed enough where it will resist the rising salt water, and it'll cure properly over the course of the next days and weeks until it's fully cured. Especially that it's in a situation where it's being drowned daily by the rising and falling tide. So that's something that you want to hopefully plan as much as possible in between the tides. We kind of cut it close here today because this is not the lowest tide that I could have waited for, but given the schedule and the tide schedule that we have, I would have had to wait like 3 more weeks. And it's also timing. You got to think about what time of the day is the tide going to be down. Is it going to be a low tide at midnight when there's no light, and that's difficult for people to make it? So you have to take these factors into consideration. Okay, so we're doing our last touches on the mooring. We have filled our mold to the top. We're racing against the tide. As you can see, we already have a third of our mold submerged, and we need to make sure that this thing cures properly. And so Ronaldo is smoothing it out, give it a nice outer texture, so when it does get sunk, submerged, the water will at least run off. And that's it. She's a beauty. Hard work. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning now. We've been working since 5, and now our job today is done, and we just let it sit. It's got to sit for about 2 weeks till it's fully cured. And this is the process of making a mooring, and it's a beautiful process. This big, strong slab of concrete that will sink into the seabed floor, and you can really trust this under typhoon strength conditions. And this is the way to do it, from the bottom up. And that way, this is my own mooring where I know exactly the entire birth process of this particular mooring, what's inside of it, what I can expect. And that is a lot of assurance when you need it most, when the conditions rise. And it's a beautiful process for a boat owner, especially just to get hands-on with this, to do it yourself, not have it done for you, because it's a business out there, and everybody's trying to get a cut, and they usually cut the quality as well. And this way I know it's 100% solid, and I got a good team of guys I'm appreciative of. We've been working right here on this beach, baling concrete, mixing, lifting, pouring. All right, over and out. Good luck to everybody out there, all my boating community friends. Good luck. Fair winds, following seas. Shaka.